Okay, this is lesson 20, solving quadratics when a is equal to 1, like quadratic equations. So whenever you see the word solve in any of your homework or tests, solving means find the answer of the letter, okay? And in Algebra 1, you definitely had something like x to the first plus 1 is equal to 0. What's x equal to? You only had one answer because it's x to the first. Today we're going to deal with x squared. So x squared plus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. Since the largest exponent is x squared, we know we're going to have two answers, okay? Okay, only two answers. And the larger the exponent, the more answers there are. So quadratic is x squared. So anything with squared. So what you need to know before we do this is you need to know how to Xbox, we learned that already, and how to solve an equation, okay? I'm going to do a lot of explaining the first time, and then after that it's going to go pretty easy. Okay, here are the steps. Make one side equal to 0, factor the opposite side using Xbox, solve each factor using the zero product property, okay? You may have seen this in Algebra 1, a lot of times students haven't, so here we go. Number 1. Let me make a little space here. Number 1, first thing I want to do is make sure that both of my equation, one side is all equal to 0. So we have a 0 here, but like on number 2, you see that it's equal to -4, so we're going to deal with that. But in this, since it's already equal to 0, I don't have to organize everything. Everything is organized from descending order, x squared, x to the first, and then constant, okay? So here we go. The first thing I want to do after that is complete an Xbox to factor the left-hand side. So I know a is equal to 1. B is equal to -7, C is equal to 12. Okay, using the Xbox method, I'm going to factor. So since A is 1, we got 1 and 1 here. A times C is 12. B is -7. Okay, and then I ask myself what times what is equal to positive 12, but equals to -7 when we combine them together. So I know it's -3 and -4. Comes the box part. Can I simplify these fractions at all? Nope. So when I factor this, I get x minus 3 times x minus 4. Okay. So that's the factored version. Remember, I'm trying to solve. Solving means to find the answer of the letter. Solving means find the answer of the letter. So, like I said, there's x squared. So there's two answers. So I'm going to have two answers here in a moment. So whenever I want to solve this now, I have to divide each of these terms to find each x. So if I were to solve for this x right here, I'd have to move everything away from it. So I'd have to divide both sides by x minus 4 the first time. And x minus 4 divided by x minus 4 is 1, leaving just x minus 3. And then on the right-hand side, 0 divided by x minus 4 is still 0. Okay? Right? And then I could solve for here. And if I were to solve for x minus 4, then I would do this. So when this happens, we're doing a redundant step. And we use this thing called the zero product property. So when you go from here, you could just jump from here to here instead of doing all this dividing stuff. So you don't have to do this division stuff. Just apply the zero product property. And jump from here to here, okay? So we have two equations. So x minus 3 is equal to 0 and x minus 4 is equal to 0. Add 3 to both sides here first. So we got x is equal to positive 3, and then over here we have x. Add 4 on both sides, so x is equal to positive 4. And that's it. So we have two answers. You could write it a few ways. You could write it x equals to 3, 4. That's one way you could do it. Another way you could do it is have them separately like that. Or a third way you could do it is write the set notation. Just put 3, 4. Okay, that's it.
Are we always going to have two answers?
It's quadratics, so a quadratic's x squared, yeah. So you would have two answers. Number 2, though, you should have two answers, but you actually have one, and I'll show you why. Okay, that's number 1. Any questions on number 1? Okay, number 2. Watch me do number 2. Number 2, it's not equal to 0, it's equal to -4. So how make it 0? I would just add 4 to both sides. So we get x squared minus 6x plus 9 is equal to 0, right? Now it's all equal to 0. Then I do my x box. A is 1, a times c is 9, b is negative 6, okay? What times what is equal to negative 9, but adds up to negative 6, negative 3, and negative 3, right? Both of them are the same. Box them. Can I simplify them? Nope. So these are my factors. So now my factored form of this quadratic is going to be x minus 3 times x minus 3. When this is the case, we use the zero product property. We just jump from here to the next step without doing the dividing. So you just put x minus 3 is equal to 0. Take this first term, make it equal to 0. Take the second term, x minus 3, make it equal to 0. Okay? Solving each of these, add 3 to both sides here. Get x is equal to 3. That's your first answer. And the second one should be the same in this case because you got the same factor, right? Okay? Since these are both the same, how many answers do we really have? One answer. So x is equal to 3 is your answer, or you could just put your summation notation, which will look like this. 3. Box your answer, and you're all done. That's it. Does this make sense? Raise your hand if you've done something like this before in Algebra 1. Some of you have, a lot of you haven't. That's okay. So this is an easy. This is the easy day. Tomorrow we're going to go a little bit more difficult in technicality. So what I'd like you to do right now is 2's tell 1's about number 1, 1's tell 2's about number 2. Ready, set. Okay, continuing number 3. Number 3. Sure. Okay, so on number 3, first step we want to do is make one side equal to 0. Is it equal to 0 already on step 1? Yep, so we're going to leave that alone. A is 1, B is negative 2, C is negative 15. So we're going to do an X box. I'm going to do this one together with you. Sorry about that. I don't know what's going on here. So we know it's 1 and 1. 1 times negative 15 is negative 15. B is negative 2. I know I put negative 3. Negative 2. Okay, what times what is equal to negative 15, but adds up to negative 2? 3 and negative 5. Good. So I'm boxing these two. Got a question for you. Can I simplify these fractions now? No, tomorrow you will. Okay, today are the easy ones, just so you can understand the process. Then we write this down, r plus 3 times r minus 5 is all equal to 0. Please finish off the rest of this problem. Go. Okay, remember it's going to be r plus 3 equals 0. This is zero product property. R minus 5 equals 0. So subtract 3 on both sides here. You get r is equal to negative 3. And then over here you get adding 5 to both sides. You get r is equal to positive 5. When you're writing the set notation for this one, it looks like parentheses with a little point at the end. So it's going to be negative 3, comma, 5. That's it. Okay. Next one, number 4. Go. What do you notice about number 4? You should be quick on your feet about? There's no B, so what else do you notice? Perfect squares. This is called a what? Difference of squares. How can you factor this without even using X box? N minus 4, N plus 4, right? So do you always have to do X box? No. Take shortcuts when you can, okay? Because we're all trying to save time, right? Those are the only two. Next. Number 5. What do you have to do on number 5 before you even start doing X box? Good. We're subtracting 5. Sorry. Subtracting 5. So you got to subtract 5 here. Subtract 5 here. both sides of the equation, so you get n squared plus 9n plus 20 equals 0. Okay, go. So on this one, after you do your, x box will be n minus 5, n minus 4. Oh no, n plus 5, n plus 4 is all equal to 0. And you do zero product property. Each of these will be n plus 5 will be equal to 0. And this one will be n plus 4 is equal to 0. So n is equal to negative 5. And n is equal to negative 4. So on some of these, you're going to figure out shortcuts, right? Where you're going to go a little more quickly. Last one, number 6. Number 6, go. How do we know it's two answers when we start the problem? How do we know? Look at the biggest exponent. What's k raised to? 2. Good, k squared. So how many answers should there be? 2. Okay, that's how you know. That's the hint whenever you look at these problems. You're like, oh, this one's going to have 2 answers. Okay, I'm not going to do this whole one, but this one's going to be, there's 2 answers. K will be negative 2 and negative 4. And the other thing you'll notice is I'm writing them in order. So, actually should be negative 4, negative 2. But okay, that's it. This concludes our lesson. So what I'd like you to do is turn off your iPads to